Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before we start building on the subject matter for the day. Hopefully, y'all having a powerful Tuesday thus far. Staying healthy, staying productive, staying positive, all that good stuff. Y'all see the particular title of this video. Something that's very important to me, man. Something that was on my mind. So I thought that I would share it with you all. And I'm always open to your input in regards to this subject matter, man. But first, I just want to get some things off my chest in reference to the responsibility that comes with gaining knowledge, getting the information. First, I'm going to give y'all about 3 to 5 minutes, man, to tap in with the kid. I got about a good 45 to 50 minutes or so to build. So hopefully y'all got about the same amount of time to listen to and tap into the build. But what's the word, man? Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Tuesday. Magic, peace. What's happening with you, my brother? Chris, peace. My brother, what's happening? What's the word? How y'all holding up on this wonderful Tuesday? What's the word? Big Smooth, peace. What's happening? Ananias, peace. Queen, what's happening? What's the word? Nice for sure. Yeah, we definitely gonna build on it. You know, the responsibility that comes with gaining the knowledge, and why a lot of people would rather be left in the so-called dark. A lot of people would rather not know. You know, we gonna build on why that is. Y'all already know one of the most popular words that I tend to use is accountability, and that's one thing that comes with the responsibility of gaining information. Accountability. Once you know, now it's up to you to change the circumstance. You can no longer blame anybody. If you have a condition that you are suffering from and you come across the information that will help you heal or reverse the condition, if you don't do what's required, then that's on you. You got the information. You can no longer say, hey, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to reverse this condition. I don't know how to heal myself. Once you get the information, now everything is on you. If you don't implement this information, then it's your fault for not healing yourself. But, you know, we like to play the blame game. So a lot of us like to be ignorant on purpose because we don't want to be accountable for taking charge of our situation or our circumstances. Oh, nice, for sure. Chris, there we go. From the S Corp, restructuring to an S Corp from an LLC. Oh, yeah, that's an important conversation right there, too, in regards to business structures and whatnot. But for sure. Okay, cool. Peace. What's happening? Nice, 100%. Red lipstick vibes. Peace. What's happening? Definitely are responsible for what you know. And that's big. That's big for a lot of people. You know, that's big. We got to understand, too, when we come across the information, timing is everything. And this is going to apply to a lot of my sisters. I've known a lot of sisters I've witnessed a lot of sisters be mesmerized with brothers because of the information that they possess, the knowledge that they possess. You know, they're attracted to it. They fascinated by it. But I like to tell sisters, never be fascinated by what a brother knows. Be more so fascinated by how he implements what he knows. That's the most important thing. Because it's easy to acquire the information. It's easy to get the knowledge. It's easy to get the information, the facts, the data, all of that. But not too many people are actually implementing what it is that they learn. That's what you need to be fascinated about. And unfortunately, a lot of brothers come across pieces of information at the wrong time. At the wrong time. And that's very unfortunate. Tierra, peace, queen, what's happening? The wife is in the building. Y'all say peace to the wife. But a lot of times, man, brothers come across information, and you got to understand how we was programmed for the most part. We all came up in the wilderness of North America. We all, as young boys, we all were taught certain things. We all were pretty much taught to degrade women, to degrade ourselves, that anybody that looks like you is an enemy. We were all taught these same things, man. Talked about drugs, gang violence, all of this stuff, man. All of this was glamorized. We all came up in that same culture. So just imagine if you came up under that culture for 20, 25 years, and then all of a sudden you come across some information letting you know that everything that you was taught was a lie. You're not going to necessarily instantly change the next day because you came across this information. You came across information that's telling you to respect women, respect yourself. Whole while you done grew up for 25 to 30 years living the total opposite. You're not going to change overnight. A person is not going to change overnight. And a lot of people don't understand that. So again, you judging a person by what they are saying in regards to this knowledge, but you got to judge them by what they are doing, how they are implementing this information. That's the most important thing. Yeah, they talking the good talk, but are they walking the walk as well? That's the most important thing to judge when it comes to the information. And then you also have to be patient. Just because somebody came across information today don't necessarily mean they are going to apply it tomorrow. Got to be patient, man. This stuff takes time. You got to deprogram and then reprogram. It's a whole entire process. So if you come across information that is the total opposite of how you were raised, it's going to take time for you to change, for you to transition over to that lifestyle. So you got to be patient with these individuals when they come across certain pieces of information. You can't expect for them to change overnight. You can't expect it, man. You cannot expect that. And a lot of times that's what people tend to expect. And that's unrealistic. It's a whole process, man. It will take you years to fully transition into certain realms of reality, depending on the information that you're coming across. Now, some things you can wake up the next day and just kind of implement it. But a lot of things, man, no, it's a whole process. You come across information that will help you with your health. It's a whole process. You're not just going to wake up tomorrow and become vegan. First of all, that's not the healthiest way to do it. So it's a whole entire process, and that's everything when it comes to knowledge. And again, listen to what I'm talking about. We're talking about a process. We're talking about putting in work. That's part of the responsibility that comes with acquiring knowledge. And that's another reason why people run away from information, because it's a process. It's work involved in changing. It's work involved in implementing or applying that information. It's work involved. It's work involved. People want to get the information and then automatically change. We're in the microwave generation. Nobody wants to take the information and the knowledge and apply it, put it into work, embrace the process. They don't want to do that. So when you start reading things, when you start doing the knowledge, as we like to call it, then that's what you're going to come across. None of this stuff is so-called easy. It's all work. If you're trying to change your health, that's work. It's not an overnight process, man, to reach that optimal state of health, to get fit, to get healthy, to get balanced. It's not an overnight process. It's not something that's going to happen in a week. It's not something that's going to happen in 2 weeks, a month, a year. It takes time. And people don't want to hear that. They don't want to face their reality. They want the get rich quick schemes and things like that. They want to get healthy tomorrow. That's why they going to get surgeries. That's why they falling for scams. They don't want to read a book that tells them to put a small amount of money away each week and invest it. Like, nah, they want to hear something that say, man, if you give me 500 today, then next week it'll be 1,500. Something like that. That's what we fool with. That's what we fool with. And that's why we keep falling for the okie doke. As told by Curly D, peace, what's happening? Montel, peace, what's the word? Salacious, peace, what's happening? Jasmine, peace queen, what's happening? And that's why a lot of the ancient cultures, man, they tell you, man, to embrace the process. When they tell you to embrace the process is the present, the here and now. That's what a lot of the ancient cultures tell you to embrace, the here and now. The here and now is the process. Those are the daily steps. The daily steps that you have to indulge in to reach a certain point, to reach a certain level. That's what you need to embrace. That's what you need to focus on. And that's what it's going to take for you to, that's what it's going to take you to focus on for you to reach that goal. So again, that's one of the biggest responsibilities when it comes to gaining knowledge. It's a process to change. It's a process to transition. Like I said, man, if you got diabetes, if you have type 2 diabetes and you read a few books on how to cure type 2 diabetes, man, you want your type 2 diabetes to go away tomorrow, next week. But none of these books are telling you that that's even possible. It's not possible. It's going to take you, it takes time to reverse type 2 diabetes. But we don't want to hear that. We would rather hear something like, if you take this capsule, then your diabetes will go away tomorrow, or your diabetes will be gone in a week. We don't want to hear about changing your diet, changing your nutrition. and giving it time, giving it months, giving it years for the diabetes to reverse itself. We don't want to hear that type of information. We don't want to hear that. That sounds too strenuous. You know, we are allergic to putting in work. We are allergic to embracing the process. If things sound a little too complicated to us, or things sound too far off, we don't want to fool with it. We don't want to fool with it. We want somebody to tell us, hey, if you take this capsule, your type 2 diabetes will be reversed tomorrow. That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear about, all right, eliminate this from the diet, eliminate that from the diet, then add more greens and focus on intermittent fasting. And if you do this over months, over years, then the type 2 diabetes will eventually reverse itself. That doesn't sound too promising. That doesn't sound too pleasing to us. We want that overnight reversal. It's not possible. And that's why, again, a lot of people don't strive to acquire information. It's crazy out here. You would think that more people, it's a lot of conditions that people have these days that are easily reversible, can easily be reversed. But these people with the conditions and the family members are not doing the knowledge to acquire the information to reverse them. And you wonder why that is. Because nobody wants to put in that work. Nobody wants to change in a good way. You know, to be honest with you, some people like to be in the miserable state for attention, man. Believe it or not, that's actually a thing. That's actually a thing, believe it or not. Lindell, peace, what's happening? Shaquille, peace, what's the word? It's sold by Curly D for sure. Okay, cool, exactly, man. Like everything, we have been made lazy, you know. And notice I said we have been made lazy. That's an actual fact. Just look at Dean, peace, what's happening? Look at the pandemic, all of that. We have been made lazy. We talk about the advancement of technology. What about the advancement of laziness? That's all I've seen with the advancement of technology, the advancement of mental and physical laziness. That's literally what's happening. So we looking at the world like the world is evolving, the world is advancing. Yeah, we advancing in laziness. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but along with the advancement in technology, I've seen the advancement in laziness in people. Like literally. Like the world, society has made us we have become lazy due to the advancement of technology. People don't really value research. They don't want to read books and things like that because they just want to boom. I'm gonna just Google it. I got access to this phone. I'm gonna just Google everything. That's what I'm gonna do. You know, so at the end of the day, like society is encouraging us to be lazy. Very lazy, and it's working. People don't want to do anything, man. They just want to complain. They want to cry about situations and circumstances and don't want to do anything to change the circumstances and the condition. And want to do that. And that's a problem. It's a big problem. And the worst part, the worst aspect of it, or the worst realm, is the mental laziness. The mental laziness is horrible. Like people, we've lost touch so bad. Like people can't even basic math, like off the top of the head. I mean, it'd be simple math problems where people grab the phone and grab the calculator in the phone or on the phone to put it in. Like, man, I'm like, this was simple. You ask somebody what's 300 plus 250 and they may pull out the phone instead of saying 550. Like I said, I remember working in the bank and I used to, like when we would do math, I would do math off the top of my head and people were surprised. And it was basic math. It wasn't nothing, it wasn't anything complicated. It'd be a basic math problem in reference to somebody's money. And I answer it in like 2 seconds. And somebody will pull out their phone to confirm what I said. And they was like, dang, man, how you know that? How you answer that so quick? That's how lazy we have gotten mentally. That's why every chance that I get, I never go to my phone for math unless like I really need to. For the most part, I'm going to strive to solve that problem inside of my dome first. Like I'm not quick to run to my phone to do some math. You know, I'm not going to do it. If it's something simple and basic, man, I'm going to do it off the top of the dome first. Like I'm just how I got to do it. You know, we got to protect ourselves from dementia, Alzheimer's, and things like that. One of the ways to protect yourself from those things is to utilize the mind. Hey, the brain is a muscle. We got to utilize that. You don't use it, you lose it. And you got to do those mental exercises, man. Forget that calculator on the phone, man. Solve that problem. It's simple. Solve it. Get a piece of paper out and work through the problem, man. We got to go back to doing things like that, man, so we don't suffer from dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, man. We got to go back into putting in that mental work. If it sounds like a simple math problem, man, just do it off the top of your head. Do it off the top of your head first, then go confirm it with the phone. That's what I suggest people do. But like I said, man, I've done that several times and people were like surprised to see somebody do math off the top of their head, not using the phone, not using a calculator. It's like, dude, it's really kind of simple. It's really kind of simple, man. Like we can't lose touch with that aspect of reality, man. Like from time to time, man, instead of using GPS, man, I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna go ahead and navigate my way around here without utilizing it. Or if I do use GPS, one thing I would try to do, I just memorize the directions. Just like a map. Like if you don't know where you're going, back in the day, you looked at the map. And then from looking at the map, you figured out how to get there. So sometimes I GPS something if I haven't been there before, and then I memorize the directions. Instead of plugging the phone up, letting it guide me. I'm gonna memorize what I gotta do. Again, that's helping the brain. That's strengthening the brain, which strengthens the mind. But a lot of people don't do that. We just like, forget it, plug this phone up, let this phone guide me. Nah, don't do that. You know, from time to time, cool. But also say, all right, man, listen, this 10 minutes away, man. I should be able to drive somewhere 10 minutes away without having this phone guide me the whole entire way. I should be able to memorize how to get there and how to get back. It's simple. Now, if I'm going 30 minutes out the way, all right, cool. But this 10 minutes right around the corner, why am I using my phone to go right around the corner? I should be able to memorize this. I should be able to memorize it. Shantae Peace Queen, what's happening? Beast by Bless Zone Out. Peace. What's the word? Yeah, Beast by Bless Zone Out for sure. Shadow Music. Peace. What's happening? Chris at all. And again, hey, these phones don't be right and exact all the time. You know how many, in reference to my gym, you know how many times people done put my gym in the GPS and they ended up in the wrong place? Like straight up. God is Peace Queen, what's happening? Randy, peace, what's the word? Magic Rims, every time, the instant gratification, every time. Oh, as told by Curly D, man, for sure, man. We stuck in several loops. We stuck in a big time matrix. Most people are stuck in the big time matrix. And when you are outside of that matrix, the matrix that most people are stuck in, like it's crazy to actually sit and watch it and pay attention to it. It's almost like when you in a room full of people that's drunk and you sober and you see how they acting. Like they don't realize how they acting. And they gonna wake up the next day and don't remember anything, but you remember everything because you were sober. This is like how the world is. Like when you outside of that matrix and everybody's still caught up in this matrix, they don't realize how they acting. They don't realize how they acting at all. But since you outside of the matrix, you're on the outside looking in, like you paying attention to it. See, when you was a part of the matrix, this stuff wasn't a big deal because you was part of it. So you weren't even paying attention to it. But when you detach from that matrix and you start paying attention, you like, man, this is crazy. It's crazy out here. Oh, Chris, for sure. You say lazy and spending too much time trying to be happy instead of building to be in a place of understanding and comfort. 100%. Like I say, I always strive for peace. You know, I don't place too much emphasis on happiness. You know, that's just a personal philosophy of mine. I'm more so full of peace. When people ask me, are you happy? I'm like, man, happy is something. Listen, I look at happiness as something that's temporary. It's a temporary emotion and feeling. Peace is more so a way of life. It's a state of being. So I'd rather be at peace than happy because happiness is not going to last long. Peace is just like my way of life. It's my essence, you know? So that's the personal outlook that I have. Happiness is just like sadness and all of that. Something that's not permanent, something that won't last too long. Big Smooth for sure. Definitely got to write it out, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Keep the mind sharp. You know, that's what we got to do. As told by Curly D, you already know, man. We already know it's definitely coming soon, man. They got us big time distracted. You know, I was talking about that yesterday. They got us big time distracted. And again, part of the responsibility of gaining knowledge. They don't have the phrase each one teach one for no reason. It's like part of the responsibility, and we even got that in our lessons. You know, as part of the duty of a civilized person, man, we have got to reach the uncivilized in some way, shape, or form. So a lot of times I get a lot of flack for stating that. You know, I get a lot of flack for stating that part of our duty, the people that know, is to teach those that don't know. People say, oh, well, they got to be willing to listen. Obviously, I'm talking about the people that don't know that's willing to listen. Because at one point, we were the individuals that did not know something. And we had to listen to somebody that knew. So again, we can't give up on society as a whole and say, oh, they not willing, they don't want to listen, this, that, and the third. Well, at one point, you was in that same boat that you didn't know something and you had to listen to somebody that had the knowledge. So again, whether y'all want to admit it or not, whether we like it or not, part of the duty of people that know is to reach those that don't know, no matter how complicated it is. Part of the duty of the civilized is to teach the uncivilized, no matter how complicated that is. It's part of your duty, whether you like it or not. First, you taking the information and the lessons and applying them to yourself to help yourself and to help your universe, your cipher, your immediate cipher, your inner circle. And then you taking it to the streets, you taking it to the people, taking it to those that don't know. That's a very important part of the process, to tap in with those that don't know, that are willing to listen. And a lot of people not ready for that. A lot of people ain't ready for that part of the process, because that's the part of the process that can get discouraging. Trying to find those that don't know, because that's part of the problem. We're trying to find those. We're trying to force the information. No, a lot of times they come to you. They come to you. They see you shining. They see you got this information and you applied it, and it's improving your life. And they attracted to that, so they gravitate towards you. They want to know. They want to know the secrets, so to speak. That's when you teach those that don't know, when they come to you, offer observation. Walker, peace, what's happening? Brandon, peace, what's the word? Cosmic Creations, peace, what's happening? Then you say Google and Apple Maps will have you driving off a cliff sometimes. And what's crazy is that's not far-fetched. Literally, people will follow these directions to the point where they may drive off a cliff. like literally, you will be driving, like you will be following these directions, and you will turn into a place that you know is not right and exact. You like that goop. Like, listen, your phone had told you to make this right into a lot that you know is not what you're looking for. Why would you turn down that joint? Like, this can't be it. But you gonna turn down that joint. We just lazy. We lazy. Big Smooth, man. I used to look at people in the banks all the time, most notably the younger generation. Man, I'm telling you, our posture, like our necks are terrible because of every time you look up, people just like this. This is it. These phones, I'm telling you, man, we walking. When they came out with things like The Walking Dead, like all of these zombie shows and movies, it's a reflection of reality. Reflection of reality. Like, these phones is crazy. These phones got us to the point where we literally think we need these smartphones when it was not too long ago that we did not have all of this. Like, we got to understand, we living like we didn't have smartphones for 100 years. Listen, we ain't had listen, I'm going on 32. Man, smartphones, listen, smartphones ain't older than me and been around for half my life. Like, the phones, I mean, these are fairly new creations. These smartphones, fairly new creations. And we act like we cannot live without these things. If we don't have that smartphone, it's over with. Can't function. Can't function at all. Shadow Music, you say they make adjustments to the matrix to put people back to sleep. For sure. Oh, 100%. 100%. They do that all the time. Lindell. And listen, and one thing I would say about social media, you know, this is what people don't understand about social media. And again, this is all part of knowledge, information, because things people don't understand. People incorrectly say things like, people incorrectly act like they have a lot of control when it comes to social media in regards to what it is that they tap into. See, that's the illusion of control. This is how they got most of us. Y'all know the quote about Harriet Tubman could have freed more slaves. They realized they were slaves in the first place. Whether or not she said it, who knows? But that's relevant. That's relevant to what I'm talking about. Because a lot of times we think we actually have control, and we don't. We don't realize the game that's being played right in front of us. Social media is owned and controlled by whom? Best believe that everything that approaches these platforms has to be approved. Has to be approved by somebody. And best believe that they have a lot of control over what pops up in your algorithms. Listen, there are things that pop up on my algorithm that should never pop up on my algorithms. But yet here they are. Because it's all about money at the end of the day. You got to understand, we talking about marketing, we talking about advertising. This joint, the winner of this goes to the person that has the most money. If you have a lot of money, you can pay to have your content pop up in certain places. The more money you have, the more your content can appear somewhere. But here you are thinking, hey, I'm choosing to tap into this person. No, they have paid a lot of money for their advertisements or their ads to continue to pop up to the point where it's resonating with you subconsciously. That's what's happening a lot of times. Now, of course, there are people that organically build platforms and things like that the system hasn't gotten hip to, or they may be hip to it, they just don't care enough to suppress it. But don't get it twisted. Any given time, they feel like suppressing somebody and putting them at the bottom or getting rid of them, they can and they will, if it's messing up their bottom line. Because these platforms, they are going to support the people that's paying them. So best believe they're listen, when it comes to YouTube, Facebook, all of these platforms, there are interest groups. There are people, there are groups that are paying these platforms to protect their interests. So anything that goes against these groups must be taken down, because they are funding, like they are paying YouTube, they are paying Facebook large amounts of money to protect their interests. So if you come out and speak against this industry, your content got to go. You got to go, because they paying us billions of dollars to protect them. Protect and serve, that's what they doing. And again, we think we got this choice. No, like a lot of people do not understand this illusion of choice, this illusion of free will that we think that we have sometimes. Notice I'm saying sometimes. We don't understand the game that's being played on us. We don't understand how slick marketing is. We don't understand how slick advertising is. And again, that's part of this knowledge. That's part of information. Most of these platforms, they use slick marketing tactics to pop up on the algorithms. They using keywords. They trying to word their videos a certain type of way. Thumbnails. They using certain thumbnails because they've tapped into marketing. They've told you that if you use bright colors, you will stand out more. See, this is preying on the subconscious mind. So you thinking that you consciously chose this channel or this video to watch. No, your subconscious was attracted to the thumbnail. And then you clicked on it. That wasn't you choosing to do that. So it gets deep. This is why you see people doing the things that they are doing. It's marketing, it's advertising, it's preying on your subconscious. It's literally what it's doing. If they preyed on a conscious mind, they wouldn't get half of the people that they have. They know and understand that they got to get to the subconscious in order to make people gravitate towards their content and their product. Because consciously we talk ourselves out of something. So they know if I need to get a group of people to gravitate towards my product and my content, I got to tap into the subconscious mind. How do I do that? I don't want people to think about purchasing my product or tapping into my content, because if they got to think about it, then they might not do it. This is marketing 101. But we think we have a choice. No, everybody else understands that we driven by this subconscious. We driven by it. Everybody else understands this, but we don't understand it. This is why they insert certain things on these television shows, in these movies. This is why they do this. Persuasion, suggestions. That's what it's all about. And that's tapping into the subconscious. So a lot of like I've always talked about, a lot of the decisions that you are making, that you think that you are making, like, no, you were influenced. You were influenced to gravitate towards that product, toward that service, toward that lifestyle, toward that show, toward that movie. It's preying on that subconscious. Yeah, peace, what's happening? You know, so at the end of the day, it gets real in the field. And this is the information that, again, people don't want to hear. They don't want to tap into it. They don't want to tap into it at all. But everybody else is tapping into it to manipulate you. So you better tap into it so you can understand what's happening. If you don't tap into the subconscious mind, if you don't tap into the power of it, then you are going to be bamboozled for the rest of your life. Once you actually tap into that information, then you start to understand what's actually happening. You start to understand why certain brands using certain colors. Why when you walk in certain stores, they smell like, so they have a certain scent. You say, oh, okay, they tapping into the subconscious. Okay, I get it. They don't want me to think about coming in here. I got it now because I know about the subconscious. I know about psychology. I understand it. But if you don't know what's happening, you think you're making conscious decisions. That's what you think. That's what you think you're doing. That's what you think. Not how it's happening. That's not how it's happening. None of these businesses are trying to tap into your conscious mind. None of them. Trust me. Marketing is my degree field. Nobody is trying to tap into your conscious mind. They don't want you thinking to make a decision. They don't want you to do that. They do not want you to do that. They want it to be automatic. They want it to be automatic. And the only way to make something automatic is to tap into the subconscious. And again, like I said, we don't realize what's happening. How in the world did somebody convince us that we need an iPhone, that we need smartphones? How did that happen? Because we didn't need the iPhones before they came into existence. Somebody had to convince us that we needed a smartphone. They convinced us of it. They didn't make us get it. They just convinced us that we need it. That's what they did. They convinced us. They influenced us. They persuaded all of these things. They convinced us that we needed it. They started hitting us with all the benefits of having this smartphone. And when we tapped into the benefits, we was like, man, that's nice. Now it then got to the point where we think that it's something that we need. No, it is something that we want. We could definitely live without smartphones. We could definitely do it because we did it before. But once they start talking about how easier it would make life to have this phone, they got us. So you thought you didn't really make a conscious decision. They actually forced these phones on us, just like they forced flat screen TVs on us. See, these ain't like, we not making conscious decisions. You know, again, they influencing us to do certain things, and then when you turn around, the old way of living is gone. So now it's like, oh, now we can't even go back if we wanted to. You know, but first they got to create that desire in our minds through persuasion, through influence, through convincing, suggestions, things like that. And once they do that, then slowly but surely they get rid of the old way of life. So next thing you know, it's like, oh man, what happened to the big back TVs? Like, you can't even find them joints anymore unless you just kept one. You know, so that's how they do it. They hit us with persuasion. They influence us, make us think we need something when really we don't. And next thing you know, you right in line. You right in line. Ready to get the latest phone, ready to get the latest pair of shoes, ready to get the latest pair of this, that, and the third. They got us. Watch reality. Peace. What's happening? Jeff, peace. What's the word? Hey, I see y'all. I see y'all building in the comment section, man. Excuse me, I done got into vent mode a little bit, so I'm just tapping into some of the comments. Can't tap into all of the comments. Y'all know how they go, but I see y'all building as always. Very peaceful. Very peaceful. Cosmic for sure. What was the show? Manifest or whatever that show was called when they say it's all connected. That's life. That's life. Oh, Delano, yeah, social dilemma. Yep. Yep. Mario, you say social media, Instagram, it interacts like a drug neurologically. It is. It's an addiction, man. It's an addiction. I don't even know. I'm finna do the knowledge real quick before I spit it out. Let me see. Let me look up something real quick. Let me see, man, before I spit it out, you know. Man, it's crazy. You know, US adults use media for an average of 12 hours and 9 minutes per day. Man, that's half the day. That's half the day. That's crazy. That's half the day, man. And that's just media. Let me see what social media is, though. Let me see. I'm seeing 2.5 hours on these platforms. Let me see. Let me go to this article right here, man. That's crazy. The amount of time that we spend on social media on a daily basis. Sheesh. Man, you get a lot of numbers out here, man. Let me tap back in. But y'all get the gist, man. We spend hours upon hours on social media on a daily basis. Some of it is productive, but I can promise you that for the most part, it's not. Even and I'm not just talking to y'all, I'm talking to myself, man. Sometimes I just find myself just scrolling just mindlessly. Like, man, what am I doing? Like, I have to snap out, like, man, what am I doing? Like, I'm just scrolling. I ain't even looking at nothing. You're just scrolling. Like, hold on, boom, let me snap out of that. Let me go pick up a book or something. Like, I ain't got time. You guys are just wasting time. And yet, like I said, we want to complain about things. Like, oh man, I ain't making enough money and this, that, and the third. And it's like you spending 2.5, 3, 4 hours on Facebook every day. Like, come on, man. That time you spending on social media can be time spent building up a side hustle. Literally. Chris, for sure. So the more you make, the more people come after you with their hands out. 100%. Always looking for some favors, man. T Squared, my brother. Appreciate that super sticker. Appreciate it. Cosmic Creations, 100%. Like I said, man, that stuff gets deep, man. When we tapping into the subconscious, man. You tapping into the subconscious, it gets really deep. I never forget coming across that particular piece of information. or that subject matter, just studying the subconscious. When I came across the information, man, I didn't know anything about subconscious mind. Like, you would think that's common knowledge. Like, I literally, at the time I came across it, I'm like, man, I ain't never really heard of this. I didn't really know this was something that people wrote books about. So when I started studying it, I was like, okay, now I'm understanding some things. Now I get it. Oh, Jet Man, for sure, man. We got to keep those collectibles. It's crazy because at the time where we was living in that, with the VHS tapes, with the big back TV, at the time, like, you not living in that time thinking that one day this stuff is just not even gonna be relevant. You know, that's part of being caught up in the moment. You're not thinking about a time in where we not gonna have these VHS tapes and big back TVs. You're just not thinking about that. Then all of a sudden it happens. Like, all of a sudden. As told by Curly D. Nah, I haven't seen that show. Endless. No, I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, Dean, what you say? To think texting and driving was safer with the old flip phones. If you memorize the physical keystrokes, you didn't even have to look at the phone. Yeah, it's crazy because at the same time, we feel like everything is made easier by these smartphones. Is actually more dangerous because of how we be focusing on the phones, man. Like, now, people got their phones propped up in the whip, propped up, man. Like, people be on FaceTime in the. It's crazy. It's just crazy the amount of things that people do. I can't tell you how many times I've seen some people do some foolish things in traffic, and I look over at them and they looking at their phone. You almost killed 5 or 6 people because you know what I'm saying, you engaged in your phone. Landon, that song, that's my joint. World's an Addiction. That's my joint. Yeah, for sure. You know, man, I'm telling you, you lose plenty of hours, man. If you think about all the hours that you just spent scrolling, it's almost like, it's like small things. It's almost like, think about it, man. It was, I think K Reno made a lyric about it. I ain't about to try to quote the lyric because I can't remember it exactly verbatim. But it's like, man, if you add up, just think about sleep, for example. You know, going to work and getting those extra few hours of sleep. Like, if you just say you keep hitting snooze to the point where you get 5 extra minutes of sleep every day, man, that's gonna add up to a lot at the end of the year. And that time, that little 5 extra minutes, it seems like nothing, but it adds up. And that's the time you could have spent working on yourself. But you spent those 5 extra minutes sleeping. Like, it adds up. Like, it literally adds up. I mean, just say you spent 5 extra minutes a day sleeping, man. Like, man, listen, that's 1,825 minutes, man. It's 30 hours, man. That's important. That 30 hours could be 30 hours that you use to do something productive for yourself. That's the time that we spend on social media. A lot of that time can be used for some self-help. Some self-help. Now, again, like I said, if you tapping into something that's beneficial, cool. But at the end of the day, we all need time away from these devices. We all need time away from these devices for our mental. That can be some of that time. Cosmic, for sure, most definitely. Like I said, man, if you implement the knowledge that you have acquired, then it's all good. But if you just stuck on the knowledge, then it's all bad. You have got to implement it. And I tell that to my sisters all the time. A lot of sisters get mesmerized by a brother just based off of his knowledge. Don't fall for the okie doke. Judge that man by his ways and actions. Is he implementing what it is that he's talking about? That's what you judge that man by. Don't be like, oh my gosh, he's so intelligent. Well, are his actions intelligent? That's what you got to pay attention to. SB, for sure. K Reno, man. Shout out to K Reno. You know, Pisces the king say don't get caught up in the social media world because it's not real. You know, it's it's real for some people, you know, because like I said, it's a lot of good that can come from it. But at the end of the day, don't let it distract you from what's important. That's all I would say. And what's important is your self-development and your self-help. At the end of the day, you got to be able to disconnect from these platforms and still be okay and not feel like you're missing something in your life. So a lot of times we disconnect from these platforms and we feel like we're missing something. Like if you feel like that, then we have a problem. Like if you can't disconnect from social media without feeling like, man, something is missing, like going through withdrawals, then you have a problem. You should be able to disconnect from social media and be like, all right, I'm cool. I'm finna go chill. I'm finna read this book. I'm finna work on myself. I'm finna meditate. I'm finna work out. I'm finna do something. I'm finna do something productive, and it's not gonna bother me. So you got to be able to disconnect and still be cool. But how many people can actually do that? I'm telling you, man, like really one of the main reasons why I'm still on Facebook and things like that is because of business. Business. Like people hit me up, contact me for training and things like that via social media. So I got to keep them joints open. But I tell you, some of the best things that I've ever did, one of the best things that I've ever did for my health was like just fast from social media. Just go weeks without social media. You get the most done, man. You just feel good about life. Go a month without social media, man. I'm telling you, the amount of things that you will get done is ridiculous. Like you didn't even know you could be that productive in life. Like that's what tends to happen, man. I've done that a few times where I'm disconnecting from everything, from all the social media, and it's just straight to work. And I'm talking about I'm getting so much done, it's ridiculous. Everything that I need to get done is boom. I'm knocking them out with ease because I'm focused. I don't have no distractions. Joel, peace. What's happening? You know, no distractions, man. When you locked in, you would be surprised at what you can get done when you just locked in with no distractions. It's a difference between reading for 30 minutes with no distractions, no phone, opposed to trying to read for 30 minutes and you looking at your phone every 2 minutes. Just lock in on the book for 30 minutes and watch how deep you get into that book, opposed to 30 minutes, but you got all distractions. That 30 minutes gonna fly by, and you might have read one page. Beautiful shalom. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I've talked about a lot of times. Most people just associate fasting with like food, refraining from food. Nah, like you can fast from people, places, and things. You can fast from nouns, man. Like you can do that. You can fast from people, places, and things. And I recommend doing that. Fasting from a certain type of people, fasting from certain environments, fasting from social media. Like all of this is important. Very important. And it will only help to elevate your health. That's all it will do. It's not detrimental to fast from these things. Like, not at all. But we done been so brainwashed and conditioned into thinking that we need these things that we like, oh man, I can't go 7 days without Facebook. Are you crazy? I can't go 7 days without TikTok. Are you crazy? What I'm gonna do? I'm like, man, if you feel like you that boring of a person to where you can't tap into your inner self and be entertained, like then you got a problem. You feel like you lack that much substance to where if you take away social media, you don't have anything to do, which is crazy because that's probably actually true for a lot of people. They lack so much substance that it's like if you take away all of the social media, all of these things, you're taking away their substance. They can't think. You can even you can take away books from me. You can take away everything from me, but I still got this mind and I'm able to think. That right there is all that I need. Like that's all I need. As long as I have the ability to think, reflect, tap in to myself, good. I'm good. So you could literally take away all this stuff, man. I still got the ability to think, create. you know, so I'm good. But people lack substance, man. That's why nobody wants to tap in. They lack substance. They lack substance. They like, oh man, I ain't got nothing to think about. Social media then did all the thinking for me. The TV then did all the thinking for me. You take away these things, I don't know how to think. The school system did all the thinking for me. They told me what to think, not how to do it. So you take away all these things, now I don't know how to think. And this is a major problem in society. Major problem. You strip people of these things, and it's like they doomed. They doomed. They, you know what I'm saying? Because they have no substance. Internally, they are devoid, man. They nothing. There's nothing there. Devoid of all substance internally. Tierra, you say no one likes going within at all. At all. Nice as it should be. Cosmic, there you go. Say tap in. Tap in with the source, tap in with the nature, man. Tap in. But yeah, Nias, thinking definitely should be your greatest power. I tell everybody, man, without the mind, without the thoughts, what do you have? Absolutely nothing. So what's greater than that? That mind has literally brought everything that you know into existence. Without that mind, none of this really exists. Like you literally bring this stuff into existence. I tell people that all the time. So what is more powerful than that? Your mind, every concept that you subscribe to, how did it come into existence? You thought about it. Your mind, literally. That's the most powerful weapon that you have at your disposal at all times. That's why they try to manipulate that so they can control that. They know that that's your greatest asset and your greatest weapon, but they don't want you to know that. They want you to think the greatest asset and the greatest weapon is outside of you, outside of the mind. Because if enough people start to realize that the most powerful asset and the most powerful weapon that we possess is this mind, then it's a game changer. So they cannot get people to know that. Notice I didn't say believe that. They can't get people to know that because it's an actual fact. It ain't something that we need to believe. This is an actual fact. This is reality. It's the most powerful weapon that you have. The most powerful thing that you possess is this mind. There is a lot that you can do by utilizing this mind properly. And they know this. So they want you to say, okay, nah, all of the power that I need, it exists outside of myself. So they got you searching for things that you possess. You would never find it. You're searching for something outside of you. Like you searching for an answer, the answer is within. You don't search for something that's within, you activate that. So they got us searching for something that we'll never find on the outside, and they know this. So that's why we start clinging to all these different concepts, all these different groups, because we're looking for something. When at the end of the day, what we're looking for is right within you. It's right within. But that's how they got us. That's how we've been bamboozled. Nah, you can't be that powerful. You trying to do X, Y, and Z, you gotta go here. You gotta go here to get that type of information, that power. You gotta go there to get this type of power. You can't do that. You can't activate that. You need this assistance. Nah, you can tap in and activate that power. But they need to keep that hidden from the masses because that goes against the status quo. That goes against their bottom line. It goes against the bottom line big time. As real peace, what's happening? Nice for sure, 100%. Nice for sure. Yeah. You say, yeah, you the knowledge you've been looking for. You know, that's how it is. And that's how it should be. My brother Antonio Peace, what's happening? Cosmic, yeah, for sure. Hey, then that's a whole nother topic. Speaking of that, since you brought that up, I want to bring up another book. If you into Sufism and things like that, man, let me go ahead and let me bring up this book, man. Got the highlighter sliding all out about this joint. That which transpires behind that which appears. Grab this joint. If you need something that's gonna help you think, here you go. That which transpires behind that which appears. Go grab this book. Y'all know I'm always bringing up some books, man, but go grab this joint. Powerful book. But y'all, man, on that note, I done went over my time a little bit, man, but this again was another powerful build. Trying to get back into my thing with the streaming, man. Like I said, I've been taking the breaks, doing the knowledge, all that good stuff. You know, got to get my research on, got to get the knowledge in, so I can get that knowledge to the people, man. So that's a process that I embrace, man. Just doing the knowledge, doing the research, all that good stuff, man. But I gotta tap out for the day. I'm definitely not gonna tap in tomorrow, but most definitely should tap in, which you should be tapping in with y'all Thursday. So be on the lookout Thursday. Hey, these last two videos that I've done, these last two streams that I've done, go back, rewind them joints, pick up on the jewels if you pick up on any. If not, oh well. I'm sure in the future I'll drop some jewels for you. But man, I appreciate donations, appreciate all the comments, man. As always, peace. Again, this is one of those streams where all the ignorance don't make its way over here, man. We don't fool with the ignorance. We don't fool with the negativity and the toxicity over here. We don't fool with the trends. We don't fool with any of that nonsense. We keep it real, man. We trying to build over here. We trying to elevate. We trying to improve. We trying to develop. We trying to grow. We trying to evolve. That's what it's all about. Anything that's going against that, we don't entertain it. We discard it. We dispose of it. You know, so y'all already know what it is, man. But I appreciate y'all. I'm out. Y'all enjoy the rest of this Tuesday. Peace.